Have you ever been in a season where the storms just don't seem to let up? Maybe you've even prayed, "Lord, I just need a break. I can't take much more of this." Welcome back to the Daily Bloom. Storms in life come in many forms. For some, it's a diagnosis that changes everything overnight. For others, it's a financial crisis, a marriage under strain, or the loss of someone deeply loved. And lately, our storms have often been shared by entire communities. Hurricanes leaving towns in ruins, wildfires displacing families, and layoffs affecting whole industries. Even now, in 2025, many people are still rebuilding emotionally and financially after years of uncertainty. When we're in the middle of a storm, our natural response is to look for the quickest way out. But James chapter 1 verses 2 through 4 tells us something surprising. "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." This is not about pretending storms feel good. It's about recognizing that storms have a purpose, that they can develop in us a kind of faith that comfort never will. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused and imprisoned. Yet years later, he looked at those same brothers and said in Genesis chapter 50 verse 20, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Every storm Joseph faced was shaping him for the role God had prepared. David's journey was similar. Anointed as king while still a young shepherd boy, he spent years fleeing from Saul's jealousy. Those years were not wasted. They taught David to lead, to seek God in prayer, and to find strength in him alone. And storms are not just in the past. Angela, a boutique owner in Houston, faced almost certain closure during last year's economic downturn. Instead of immediate rescue, God gave her creative strategies, partnering with local artisans, moving her shop online, and hosting live shopping events. Angela's business didn't just survive, it became stronger. She says now, "If the storm hadn't come, I wouldn't have learned to trust God's strategy over my own." Robert, who had been at the same job for over a decade, was laid off without warning. It shook his confidence. But God used that time to redirect him into non-profit work, where his skills now serve families in crisis. He often says, "That storm was the push I needed to step into the work I was made for." Trusting God in the storm is not always easy. There are moments when we know the scriptures in our heads, but struggle to believe them in our hearts. We might say, "God, I know you're faithful, but I just don't see how this will work out." If you've been there, you're not alone. Even the disciples, who walked with Jesus in the flesh, panicked during a storm in Mark chapter 4, verses 38 and 39. They woke him, saying, "Teacher, don't you care if we drown?" And Jesus got up, rebuked the wind, and said to the waves, "Quiet, be still." The wind died down, and it was completely calm. Sometimes our fear makes us forget who's in the boat with us. When trust feels hard, prayer is our lifeline, but sometimes we don't know how to pray. Psalm 62:8 says, "Pour out your hearts to him, for God is our refuge." That means we can begin by simply being honest with him. We can say, "Lord, I want to trust you, but I'm struggling. Help me believe you are working in this." Then we can pray his promises back to him. For example, we can speak Isaiah 41:10 over our lives. "Lord, your word says, 'Do not fear, for I am with you. I will strengthen you and help you.' I receive that strength today." When trust is shaky, ask God for daily bread, not the whole blueprint. Pray, "God, give me enough grace for today. I don't need to see the whole path, just the next step." And even before we see the answer, we can thank Him. Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 and 7 tells us that thanksgiving brings peace that surpasses all understanding, guarding our hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. I think of Monica, a mother of 2, whose husband fell gravely ill. She was overwhelmed. Doctor visits, mounting bills, and the constant uncertainty of what would come next. She admitted she didn't know how to trust God fully in that moment, but she began each day with a simple prayer. Lord, I don't know how this will work out, but I trust you to carry me through today. Day by day, she saw small mercies. A neighbor bringing groceries, a bill being unexpectedly covered, her husband slowly regaining strength. Looking back, she says God didn't just heal her husband, He transformed her faith in the process. Isaiah chapter 41 verse 10 is a promise we can cling to. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And Romans chapter 8 verse 28 assures us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. That all things includes the storms you never saw coming, even the ones that feel like they might break you. Here's the truth. Storms will come, but they can't destroy you when your foundation is Christ. They can shape you, prepare you, and point others to the God who sustains you. So as you listen to this, I encourage you to ask yourself, what storm am I in right now? And what is one way I can choose to trust God in it today? And remember, you do not have to have perfect trust, just enough to take the next step with Him. If this Bible study encouraged you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the Daily Bloom so you never miss a daily word of inspiration.